Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to be my guest today. We have our Upton town manager, Joseph Laydon, with us. Welcome back, Joseph.
Thank you.
We've got big doings here in Upton. Those of you who are out of town, out of state, out of the country, we're a semi-small, cute little town, not far from Worcester, Mass, kind of the center down to the right. But anyway, we've got a lot going on. Joseph, first of all, May 1st, the new library will be open to walk into, right? To go to.
That is what we were shooting for a opening day for the public. However, we're still under construction. We still need to make sure that we get all the furniture, get all the equipment. So that's a date we're shooting for. We're crossing our fingers, but there's always a chance there could be a delay beyond that. The important thing is that at least we're very certain that no matter what, we should be able to go ahead with a sort of like a, not sort of like grand opening, but basically as part of a dedication of the building on the town's anniversary birthday of June 14th.
Right.
So that's another thing that we're shooting for official dedication, bringing together the officials, representative, everyone that's helped out on the project, to formally dedicate that building. So think of the May 1st as sort of a soft opening.
Hopefully.
That's what we're shooting for to start moving in April. Staff and equipment and all the books from the library, staff from the COA center into this new community center. But with how things are right now, it impacts if you need to get your car repaired.
Yeah.
If they don't have the part, you're waiting.
Yeah.
Until we get all the furniture in, all the equipment, we won't have any level of certainty. So crossing our fingers, shooting for that date, but there's always a chance, even if it's small, that it could have to push back because of one unforeseen thing not happening.
I know our library director, Matt Buchtold, was on the other day, Matthew, and he said that May 13th will be the book sale day. Now, I'm thinking, I said, will it be over there? Hopefully. Would it be in the driveway outside, or would it be...
I don't know. And again, it's one of those things that we'll have to... Some of these things, we're going to be planning for things at the center, but we may not be able to fully commit until we're closer through March and beginning of April will really give us a good idea. The good thing is that this is a town building. We still have a lease over at Millhouse for the senior center. It's not like we're getting kicked out of any place.
No.
So
No.
Worst case, if there was a delay, we still have them in our existing facilities, but we're hoping that come beginning of May, we're doing everything out of the new building.
Looking at that building from the outside, believe it or not, there are some people who don't know what I'm talking about when I say, have you seen, do you go up 140 at all towards Milford? And I said, it's the beauty. Is it going to stay maroon, do you think, that color? What is that? Red, maroon, the outside of the building?
Yeah, it's sort of like a farm, a barn red.
Yeah.
So it's great how the original proponents of the project sort of have some of that agrarian sort of history in that building, sort of having some design elements from like barns that would be here in Upton. It's really a wonderful facility.
Yeah, it is. And then they've got the child's playground right. You could probably go outside the senior center door at the end, and you go right. What a great idea!
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, seniors have grandchildren, and so it's like, hey, we could take them over there. It looks a little more compact than it was, the playground, but that doesn't matter to the kids. They don't really care. When you go in the first part of it, I think the biggest part is the library.
Yes.
And then you have... Matthew was telling us that there's going to be I don't know if it's called a great room, but a hall for presentations that could fit 80 or 90 people. Is that true?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wow. You could have events over there too.
That is the plan. There's a lot of things that right now we're a little constrained. Also, for purposes that we used to use the main hall at town hall for larger gatherings, and even to have it televised. The acoustics in that building are not very good. Here we'll be able to hold events with the same amount of people, but it's designed to allow for not only acoustics but also sound and visual, so that we can really use it for community presentations for other purposes that right now it really isn't the best to use the main hall.
Are we going to have a town meeting? Usually we have them, November and May? Will we have one coming up in May?
Yes, we have one scheduled for May 4th.
May 4th.
So that's
what a perfect timing, that it all hopefully might already be kind of a soft opening for the public.
Mm-hmm.
And what will we be voting on then? Do you happen to know?
So at least because of the lead time, we are still going to be having annual town meeting in the high school auditorium. So that's still the same location. People won't have to worry about going someplace else. That's our main opportunity for town to approve the town's annual, this will be the FY24 fiscal year operating budget, as well as our capital budget, water, sewer, various funding articles through the Community Preservation Committee, potentially some zoning bylaw articles. So this is the main business meeting of the town that we're going to be having in a couple of months. Right now, the warrant is open. It closes on Friday.
Yeah.
I'm working with other department heads to not only finalize the town manager's budget, which then includes the recommendations, but then also on the various articles that would be on the town meeting warrant.
I enjoy the town meetings. It's fun because you get different people can get up, from your town. They get up to go speak. They have something they want to say about an issue. We have a wonderful Mr. Speaker, Mr. Moderator. Oh my God, it's like he was made for that job. What about the church over here? There used to be Holy Angels. What are we going to do with that? But we can't do anything, can we? It was bought.
So the town owns Holy Angels, and over the last couple years, the town, specifically through the Economic Development Committee, has been focusing on what can we do for not only that building, but the adjacent Gar lot, and also the Thompson block, which is basically the smallest strip of stores, including the town's municipal parking lot and the gravel lot that's adjacent to Grove Street. So back just before the pandemic, we have put out a request for proposals trying to get a developer to look at all those properties. Pandemic hit, everything dried up. Back in the summer, decided to publish it out again, and what happens? Economy starts going down, interest rates start going up, and we didn't have any responses. So we're taking sort of a step back, regrouping, identifying, maybe looking at things a little differently, trying to identify if we can put out sort of other inquiries, maybe to try to find a partner first, rather than sort of opening it up for larger proposals. Be a little bit more strategic to try to see, are there some uses that maybe we could partner with someone to maintain and preserve the church, rather than looking at developing the whole block.
If they maintained and preserved it, would it be a particular denomination church or state?
It could be used for artisan space. It could be a cafe.
Yeah.
It could be some sort of collaborative work environment. It could also be housing.
Bookstore.
Right. What we'd be looking for over the next couple of months is really trying to work to see what kind of either more niche businesses or what partnerships may be out there to allow for that dialogue. Comments were that Centerbrook, because of its stream and we have environmental regulations that come into play, that sort of was a little bit of a hurdle. Maybe we can look at things a little differently to start getting at ideas and then figuring out how do we get there, rather than asking someone to basically give us a meal and not knowing what we really would like to see.
I like that idea of having a partnership. It's really good. If you can find the right balance, you're in clover, right? We're talking with Joseph Laydon. He's the town manager here in Upton, Massachusetts. Joseph, how can they get a hold of you?
Sure. Can get a hold of me by either calling the town manager's office at 508-529-6901 or by email at jlaydon, Laydon, at uptonma.gov.
You have pretty much an open door policy. Pretty much so, yeah. They don't,
Correct.
Right. So they can come in if they want to talk with
Yes.
you. Do they have to make an appointment?
It's always recommended just because I could be here doing a show. I may not literally be at town hall. So there are a lot of meetings that I go to. So the easiest thing to make sure that everyone's schedule matches up is just to call for an appointment. If someone does stop by, I could be there and would be happy to talk to someone.
We have a bridge right over here on Grove Street. Tell us about the progress of the bridge. We have to get a new one.
So, and then probably in about a month and a half, we're actually going to be going in front of the Board of Selectmen for what's called a 25% design hearing. What that does is allow the DPW director as well as the engineer that was hired for the bridge to come and present some of the initial plans for the bridge. And one of the things we heard at town meeting is the visual aesthetics are going to be pretty important. Being in the center of town, people don't want something that just is a slab of concrete. So that's something that to get people's thoughts and input as far as some different design direction, will be part of that.
People who live on that street will just have to go another way, right? Temporarily.
Correct.
Yeah.
Once we start construction, there is of course going to be a delay because it is so small. We'd replace the whole thing at once, rather than say if it was a larger bridge, being able to maintain through traffic at least one lane. Here it's so small, it just is easier to shut it down for 6 to 9 months, redirect traffic, and then open that back up.
Have we got any plans for downtown? People call it downtown here where the town hall is, or down where the post office is. What's referred to as downtown?
Well, we have Upton Center where we are, Town Hall, Racine, Holy Angels, and then we have West Upton, which then is down by the 118 main restaurant, the post office, Dunkin' Donuts, Millhouse. I
like the idea with the former Holy Angels Church and the little plaza, that we know that's right there. Well, I think there's quite a few ideas. Like you could send out that maybe people, they have those in Worcester. They're like little places where people who are entrepreneuring. What's that called? They all get to work in a room. What is that?
And it's basically a cooperative work environment. So there's different, people will call it different co-work, we work, different types of, terminology will be used for that. But, for example, we have a lot of home businesses. You come to Heritage Day and you see all the vendors that then they're making their own local soaps, breads, all this stuff. A co-work environment, maybe if they needed to be able to rent, even if it was for a couple hours a week, sort of desk, to be able to use computer, fax, all these things to do some of the administrative work that they may need to do that maybe they don't want or can't do at home. So there's some of those opportunities. With the community center, we're also then bringing more people in, and some communities have transformed former churches into more performing arts places. So, there's a lot of possibilities, but the challenge is that in order to identify partners, we have to have that sort of dialogue with them and identify what are some of the ideas. But we can't have it so restrictive that we essentially put a cost on them developing their plan that it interferes with that dialogue. That's one of the changes that we're going to be doing in our approach to how we view Holy Angels.
How did the plaza beside Holy Angels, how do they view what they want to do? Do they want to have we're going to redo that whole thing? Will they be guaranteed a slot, like there's a beauty parlor there and there's a Nevermind store and all that?
Well, that, that property owner, again, it is owned, by someone, so it is private property. Typically, what ends up happening if someone does redevelop, they try to find additional space, or they phase some of their renovations to basically allow someone to move into new space, renovated space, and then move out. So there's a lot of things that can be accomplished to line up those logistical things. Once we get to that point, and I hope to get to that point, and be able to think about logistics, it'd be great to be able to work with them, but that would be something a couple of years down the road, and right now, there's a lot of work to do to even get to that point.
There's a lot on our plate in town right now.
Yep.
Just getting the community center up and running is a biggie. A lot of people, I bet, I know the library, they're going to have so much more space. There's even going to be, so those little rooms that you can maybe reserve or whatever if you're tutoring somebody. That is fantastic. That is a really great thing to do. Joseph Laydon is with us, and he is our town manager here at Upton. Joseph, again, how can they get a hold of you?
Sure. Easiest way is by email at jlaydon, Laydon, at uptonma.gov. You can also get information about the office and activity on the town's website, www.uptonma.gov.
Somebody said, why can't we have a pharmacy? Well, we did in the way back when. Here in Upton. I mean, you got to either go to, Whitensville for CVS, or you got to go to Milford, something like that. Do you think we'll ever have a pharmacy here?
That's a good question, really, for the planning board and EDC to sort of think about. As towns grow, pharmacies and different types of shops will come into towns, especially depending on traffic growth or population growth, and for availability of space. So that's something that I know in communicating with our town planner and the EDC. We want to take a look at doing a West Upton plan like we did for Upton Center to try to identify what improvements and what land use regulatory changes could happen to foster redevelopment, reinvestment into properties in West Upton.
I noticed that we do have a new senior van.
Yes, we do.
Ooh.
It's not on the road yet.
Didn't I see it?
You may have seen it getting an inspection sticker or driving around, but we just took delivery last week, and we still need to get lettering and all that on.
Okay. So it looked like it said Upton on it. That's how I knew it was ours.
Oh, no, maybe we just watched the old one. But we did receive, two town meetings, last annual town meeting and then special town meeting in the fall, did appropriate additional funds because the cost, like everything else, has escalated. And we just received that van last week. It's great. Really look forward to getting it on the road. We're working with the fire chief and the Elder and Social Services Director in order to identify lettering and graphics that will be on that new van.
That is so cool. Well, it's long overdue, right?
Yes.
The last time I saw our old van going around, and I compare it to the other towns, I'm like, oh my God, we can do better than... To make sure that people understand this, they think, well, does it just take people shopping? But it can do more. You can actually, can't they reserve it to go to like a medical appointment?
Yeah, exactly. So the ESS and Council on Aging staff, what they do is not only facilitate trips to local grocery stores, to Walmart, other shops, but then also they can provide medical transportation. So if you have a doctor's appointment, they can facilitate that. It will be, the van is coming at the perfect time because as we open up the community center, there's going to be additional need to transport residents from Coach Road as well as Millhouse to programs and meals at the community center. And we're always looking for opportunities to maybe find different ways of facilitating some of those medical transports, whether it's through a volunteer driver's program or even partnering with another town to maybe share another vehicle. Because when we do take the van on a medical run, that means that there's some local trips that we're not able to use that bus for.
Yes,
So
I hadn't thought of that.
There's increased demand that the Council on Aging Senior Center staff are experiencing, and we're just looking at ways to provide more of a service for the town.
How far does that van go? Can somebody be taken up to UMass? I swear I've seen it at the old one.
It's gone up to Worcester. It's gone out to Natick.
Natick?
Yes, a lot of local trips, but there are some longer trips that do occur.
What about Boston? No?
That I don't know.
Because we've got, for people who need cancer care, we've got Dana-Farber right up the street.
Right.
It takes people up there too, right?
Right.
This is so good to know. I know that I've seen, like on our channel, they show the bulletin board and where it goes. It fascinates me. They go to the Market Basket in Hudson and Oxford. We have a brand new one over here in Shrewsbury. I hope maybe they'll, take a look at that. There's one in Bellingham as well. We always wondered, why aren't they going to Bellingham? Why would they go all the way up to Oxford? That's a long hike.
Mm-hmm.
You go up Central Turnpike.
Right.
How do we pay as a town for the gas for this great van? What do we do? How do they get it?
Well, there's some funds that we do receive for transportation from the state. It's through what's called a formula grant that covers programs, some staffing, and also transportation. But then others, it basically is a budget that the town meeting, the residents vote to approve, and it's funded by taxpayers.
I think that they say it's $1, $2, or $3 to reserve it, which is great. I mean,
it by no means covers the cost,
right.
But these are also services that are needed by people in the community.
Does the senior center, do they help those who are having trouble finding places to live that are affordable?
Yeah.
Do they help them?
So, we have a great elder and social services department. They staff the senior center, provide support to the Council on Aging, but they're really trained in being able to help residents access services, programs on the state level, local level with regional partners. There's many ways that they can help, including identifying housing and housing opportunities. So people that are, say, older or have some sort of disability, there are a lot of programs that are out there, and our ESS staff is really great at being able to match people up and get people the assistance that these programs offer.
Is the ESS social services?
Elder and social services. So it's not only for seniors, it's for all members of the community.
That is awesome. That really is. All right, so now back to our new community center. We're hoping May 1st.
Yes.
Hopefully. And then May 13th, I believe, they're going to do the book sale one way or the other, either over here at the library building or we're going to do it at the community center. And then the big one, June 14th, the official opening. Who are the officials who are coming? Do you know?
Right now, we're actually trying to start working on that.
Yeah.
June 14th still seems, it's just January 24th. It seems so far in the future, but I'll be working with Matthew as well as our new ESS director, Maggie, on those details. There's a lot of boards that have supported this project, and state officials that have supported our efforts as well. So those are things that we're going to be pulling together for that opening dedication and trying to identify what kind of sort of grand ceremony we can have. Ribbon cutting, any sort of week-long festivities, special programs.
Really?
So there's those types of things that we're going to start working with the library department as well as the ESS.
We're so looking forward to this. I'm glad you came in at a time when you're telling us what's going on and this type of thing. Like I said, Matthew, our librarian here in Upton, has said there's that big room, a facility, presentation room, this type of thing. I think that's fantastic. I didn't know that was going to be in there. I didn't even know it. And think of the things that people can do. I mean, Matthew could have authors come and speak. The kids can have activities.
Yeah. Even
for the seniors. Are you looking forward to it?
I am, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, well, you'll be there. And in the meantime, we are going to have, May 4th, our town meeting.
Yes.
Over at the high school.
Yes.
And we'll, of course, be talking about things there.
Yeah.
Thank you for being with us.
Oh,
Thank
you
you
for having
again.
me.
And he'll keep us up to date, right? You're going to keep us up to date as to what's going on.
Yes.
There's an awful lot of excited people in this town. Thank you. And we'll see you next time, and be my guest.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream. Tomorrow's even closer than it seems.